Someone in Time, Tales of Time-Crossed Romance, edited by Jonathan Strawn and read by Jennifer Tyler and Theo Solomon.
Introduction. Jonathan Strawn. Time travel. As the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction rightly says, it's a great narrative device. It allows a storyteller to pick a point of view and move it backwards or forwards in time, forking alternate histories, asking and answering what-ifs and just exploring endless possibilities. It's not surprising it's irresistible to writers and to readers. Which may be why we seemingly have an infinite-seeming supply of time travel stories and endless ways to travel through time. Up until the 1900s, the favoured method was by dream or a nightmare, as in Dickens' A Christmas Carol or Poe's A Tale of the Ragged Mountains. But as the 20th century dawned, the means of travel became more mechanical, more scientific. Wells's time machine moved its narrator through time in a machine, as did an increasing number of the time travel stories that followed. Most famously, perhaps, in the early 1960s, the BBC put a man in a blue box, gave it a technical-sounding name, and pushed him off through time and space. There have been more, perhaps too many more, till you get to the point now where we have superheroes traveling through time by running really fast and spaceships warping or folding or something to do stuff and travel in time. Very sciencey. Very timey-wimey. So there are a lot of ways to travel through time, and a lot of famous time travel stories. Some of them are hard science fiction, some of them are fantasy, some of them are horror, and some of them are, well, romances. Someone in Time has its origins in two stories, neither of which appear here for reasons of length, but both of which I'd recommend to you. About 4 years ago, I edited Passing Strange, a long story by Ellen Klages about two women living in San Francisco, one a famous pulp artist of the time and one not. They were both very much in love, but being queer in the 1940s was a fraught and difficult thing, and being together was even more difficult, if not almost impossible, and certainly dangerous. The story moved through time, from present-day San Francisco and back to the 40s, giving us an overview of how their relationship developed and evolved, how the world responded to it in different times, and whom it affected. It was, and is, quite marvelous. And then a year or so later, another, not completely different story came across my desk. Ian MacDonald's Time Was is the story of two men during World War II who fall in love, but following a military experiment gone awry, are left falling through time. They leave messages for one another in books, meet up years apart in strange ways, and are ever lost. Both of these stories left a nagging feeling in me. There were more stories to be told, more romances to be allowed to unfold, and the more I thought about it, the more great stories and movies came to mind that sat in exactly this space. The film adaptation of Richard Matheson's classic Bid Time Return, Somewhere in Time, had something of the right feel and inspired this book's title. So too Nicholas Mayer's Time After Time, the perennial classic Groundhog Day, and books like Robert Nathan's Jenny, Ken Grimwood's Replay, and Diana Gabaldon's Outlander. So I did what I tend to do in these circumstances. I reached out to writers around the world and asked them for their time travel romances, their stories of love lost and found as time slips away. And I was not disappointed. Someone in Time features 16 stories, 14 original to this book and 2 that are long-standing favourites of mine. Ellen Klages' Time Gypsy was published in a landmark book of queer science fiction, Bending the Landscape, back in 1999, and was nominated for the Hugo and Nebula Awards and long-listed for the Tiptree, so I knew it belonged here. Elizabeth Hand's Chronia is something else again, a short tale that takes a romance and shatters it through time around the events of 9/11. These two wonderful tales are joined by stories of scientists falling forward and backward in time.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?